Good afternoon guys and welcome back to the channel. Chris Dennis here, putting specialist and short game performance coach. So by the title of the video you will see we're talking about ways to help you potentially break 90, even break 80 even, and even get down into the low 70s with these simple on-course tips. So we're out here today at Waterfront Golf. We're on the par 3 6 hole. And it's different because people don't think about par 3s when they're thinking about course management, and they're more bothered about getting to par 5s and birdieing those short par 4s. The par 3s where I see a lot of people come unstuck, so they don't give it the respect that it deserves. Here we've got 176 yards, and you will see when I zoom in there we've got a tough tucked pin on the right hand side of the green. So what I see a lot of people do here, fixate on the flag. Where's the main trouble here? The main trouble is the bunker. Okay, we don't want to be in the bunker. We've got a lot of room left, and right again is short-sided. So I need to start to think about what shot shape I play. So what shot shape do you play in regards to where I tee the ball up? So if you're somebody who fades the ball like myself, I'm going to come in here on the right hand side of the tee box. I'm going to aim for the left half. If it fades back, perfect. If it stays straight, it's on the left half of the green. I've got a 20-foot putt, and if I pull it, I've got all the green to work with, which is the easiest place for me to get up and down. If you're somebody who draws the ball, get your over to the left side of the tee box. You can aim at the flag. If you push it, it stays on the flag. If it's a normal shot, you've got the 20-foot putt on the left half of the green, and if you overdraw it, then you are nicely on the left hand side of the green with all the green to work with. So here I've taken out, I'm thinking about getting to the flag. Again, it's 25 yards. Even the pros are to hit it, you know, inside 20 feet from here on average. So let's be sensible. I'm going to aim for the middle of the green, play my normal shot. A little bit skinny, hasn't really faded back. Stayed just on the fringe on the left hand side, around about the left half, so a little bit further because I did catch it thin. But there, I've taken my medicine and I've now got a relatively easy chip or putt, hopefully, down to that flag. So don't forget, on your par 3s, take your medicine, give it the respect that it deserves, use the tee box for what it is, and don't go pin seeking, as that's where I see most of the people go for the pin, end up with a double, end up with a bogey, and the world's over. Also guys, on the par 3s, this is one thing that I see way too much, is people teeing up irons. You're teeing up an iron, what they're doing is then, well, you comment below, are you somebody who always comes up shorts with their irons? You're always teeing it up on a par 3 and the strike never feels great. And we know with an iron we're designed to hit down onto the golf ball. So if my golf ball's teed up, I'm going to be striking that very much on the top grooves of the face, and as we know, it's not going to come out as hot off there. It's going to be a weak strike, and it's never going to reach our target. So if you are lining, or well, we were lining the ball up as well as teeing the ball up on here. Don't get me wrong, we want to be teeing up the ball if that gives you a little bit more confidence, but we want to make it as real as if it was sat on the fairway. We want it very much just above the ground, so it's giving you that little bit more help. If not, feel comfortable, you can just hit it off the ground. There's nobody saying that you have to hit it off a tee. Depends what you're most comfortable with. You feel what's right for you. But if we're teeing it up, I want it to be still being struck out of the middle of that golf club. It's now pushed down pretty much all the way down to the ground. So when I make my swing, I can pick that up, get a nice strike. If anything, it's going to help it get a little bit more height off there. So if you're somebody who hits the ball low, then tee it up ever so slightly, but don't be somebody who tees it up way too high. I see this not only with irons but with rescues, with fairway woods. It's all teed too high, it strikes on the top of the face, and you never get the distance you want. So let's get down there. Let's show you a tip now for better distance control when you're putting. So it has just finished on the fringe, and it's a little bit further away than I hoped, and from here we know that tour average for most golfers will be more likely to 3-putt than you are 2-putt. So really take your time with these ones and take the care to get an idea of pace control. When it comes to pace control, this is the next tip that I can help you with through the winter. Pace is one thing a lot of people miss out. So people will line the ball up, they'll have a chart, they'll have a look, make sure that's right. But then we don't do anything to help us judge the distance. So what people will do is they watch the putter back, have a look at the putter, get fixated, clean that up nicely, have a couple more, right, okay. First of all, in these conditions, make sure your putter face is dry if we have any kind of wetness on there. The same with the golf ball, we're able to make sure that that is dry. I'll reline that one up. So I'll line that up, I've already done the read. So making sure that we have a dry golf ball to start with, a dry putter face, but when it comes to distance control, a lot of people get fixated with watching the putter back. Am I doing a good stroke, or is it all over the place? Oh, I'm not happy with that one, I'll do that again. Right, and we've got no kind of feel for how far the distance is. We're not even thinking about that. If I said to you, throw me a golf ball to there, we'd have a couple of swings. Hopefully I've got a couple in my back pocket. Well, I've got one, perfect. We'd have a couple of swings looking at the hole, and then we'd release. So very much there, I'd be able to have a feel, have a swing, and then throw it down there, and that's gone to around about 5 feet. So the same here, when we're over the putts, what I want to do is take the obsession away with the putter head. We're going to look at the hole and really judge how firm, how hard I need to hit this. I'm yet to see somebody will prove me wrong, who stands there going, oh yeah, that's good. But most people, 99.9%, will look there, have a judge. Okay, that's good. And then from there we want to get into the ball quickly, dry the putter face into the ball, and get that rolling down there. So from probably 45 feet, I've left myself 1.5 feet. That's for me a very good putt. We'd be more than happy with that. But just by doing the putting strokes, making sure obviously the ball and the putter are dry to start with, but doing those strokes looking at the hole and not fixated on what the putting stroke's doing can help you with your distance control. And for 90% of golfers, even your lower handicappers, even your single figures, you're going to save more shots by getting your distance control better than anything else with putting. You're going to get rid of the 3 putts. Unfortunately, we're all going to hit shots to this distance, but if we can then get that with inside a couple of feet, we're going to get out of there with more 2 putts, less 3 putts, and help lower your scores. So the next point is using an alignment aid during the winter. So one thing that I see from a lot of people when I come out for playing lessons, whether they're a scratch plus golfer, whether it's a 36 handicapper or a 28 handicapper, is poor alignment. And they hit good shots, but they can't break down why they've hit those bad, well, they think they're bad shots, but when in fact they're actually good. And one thing is alignment. So through the winter here, because it's clean and placed, when you hit the fairways, okay, unfortunately in the rough we can't. But I'm going to be using, just like on the putting green where we say it's classed as cheating, I'm going to be using the line on the ball with my full swing as well. So it's going to help me start to square that driver up at setup. It's going to help me see, right, if I am hitting slices, if I am hitting hooks, if I know I've got the ball lined up, then I know it's something that I might need to go and look for a lesson. But a lot of people, I'd say at least 50% of people, will actually find that your alignment is just totally off. When you set up to this now, it'll feel, oh, that feels way left, or that feels way right, because you're used to coming on this tee, following the way that the tee sends you, and I'm aiming up the 8th hole here. So a lot of tee boxes don't always aim where you want them to. Having that ball on there, or having the alignment on there as a reference, will help you improve your aim. If you improve your aim, we can get better feedback. And when you go for lessons, because one thing that I always push in lessons is come with some feedback. You tell me what you're doing wrong, not go, I've not got a clue what I'm doing. At least if you come and say, I've been lining my ball up, but I'm still hitting it wayward, we need to have a look at your technique. So this is lined up just down the right half of the fairway. I can square up to that now. and that started perfectly on line. That started up the right hand side, and it's drawn back slightly, maybe overdrawn a little bit, so it will be past the trees and just into the rough. But there, I've been able to see, started the ball on line, it's curved a little bit too much, so I know that I've got a little bit of an issue with the face and path. Although I did lend this driver to my dad, and I have realised now it's set on the draw setting, but I'm not going to blame that. I still need to have a look at some numbers after. So let's get down into the rough. So as I said, from the tee, it has slightly ran into the rough. So the next point I make is in the winter, in the summer, when we are in the thicker rough, thinking about what club selection you're going to use. So what I see too much is people don't have enough loft when they come into the rough. What they're trying to do is they get here, it's about 150, right? For you, it might be a hybrid, but a hybrid isn't going to always pick the ball up out of this. We've got a big tuft of grass in front, and then from there, the ball's not going to come out as fast. And what I see is then people will come up short regularly. They'll come up short. God, I gave that everything. I felt like I hit it good, but it snags in the rough as it launches. It takes some speed out of it, and it never gets there. So what we're better off doing there is thinking about whatever hybrid you've got is going with a little bit more loft, but then maybe going with an iron. If we can get a little bit more of an angle of attack with an iron, we can get that ball popping up a little bit quicker. Therefore, we're going to get a little bit more carry. It's going to come out nicer and hopefully get to the green or get a little bit closer. We have to be too shallow with hybrids, and it doesn't always pick it up off there. Off the fairway would be fine. Here in the rough, we're going to need some more angle of attack to get that ball up and out. So here I've got a 9 iron. To encourage a little bit more downward angle of attack, I'm going to move the ball position back in my stance. As a result, I'll open up slightly, but then I can commit to this shot. And that's landed just short and just crept on the front edge. So even there with that massive tuft of grass in front, it took a lot of distance out of that. I hit nicely down onto the ball, but now I'm putting it. It's got me down there towards my target. If I'd have gone something and tried to pick that off shallow, it wouldn't have got as far, and it would have took some speed out of it, guys. So there's another thing to look out for in the winter. Also look out for that in the summer when you do go into the rough and it is thicker rough. Don't just, and even if you're under the trees, one of those things is people get under the trees, they take too little loft on that occasion. You know, they take out a 3 iron, a 4 iron, it never gets through the thicker grass in front and just trickles out, and they've still got 200, 100 yards plus into a green. If they're going a little bit higher with a 6 iron, it's still going to launch below the tree line, and it's going to get you a lot further down there, so be aware of that.